educating mum of 3 and here just to be of help and answer some questions and just share my experience the past, I say 10 years. My eldest child is 10 years. I say I've been home educating since the womb because I think we do. Even when they're toddlers and we're teaching them their ABCs, that is teaching them at home. And I think as a lot of us as parents, we do it naturally. Like, look at the bird, he's a cat. So on and so forth. So today in this video, we are going to be looking at, give you a glimpse of a day in the life, but I'm actually going to be extending this to a week view for you, because then you'll get a better understanding that no one day is the same for us, and a lot of home educators I know, no one day is the same at all. So here we go on Mondays. And in the previous video you spoke about some activities my children do, and I missed out swimming. I actually started home ed swimming lessons to give you a bit of an idea. We live technically it's London, but we live just in the outskirts. There's a bit of a contention about where we live. We live actually in Romford, London, which, if you know about The Only Way is Essex, well, the OGs from the era would say this is Essex, not London. I would say it's Essex, but they've taken the borough, and I'm sure for tax purposes, they call it London. So on our address it says London, but in people's hearts it's Essex. Wherever you want, we are right at the border, the east of England, London stroke Essex. So I was born and bred in London, schooled in London. My husband, he was born in Nigeria, came to the UK when he was 10. So but again, lived and schooled here in London. We both, the only time I've moved out of London, it was for university. I went to Winchester for a little bit, but my husband actually stayed in London, so we are Londoners through and through. Our children were all born in London, and yeah, so that, to give you an idea of the demographics of where we're at, we are in London but bordering Essex. So some of our activities are in Essex and some are in London, but love home educating here. There's a vibrant community, not just in London but also in Essex. So met some lovely people. There's some lovely groups there. You know, the home ed community is quite we're quite self-sufficient. I mean, a lot of mums, if it's not there, if it is something not available, they'll make it happen, and you know, make it open to others. So you know, you find that very welcoming, very friendly, and people want to meet each other, they want to connect, they want to socialize. I know that's a big, well, it's not as, I don't hear it as much anymore, but I know, how do they socialize? To be honest, I think that there's actually that is the opposite of the issue. I think sometimes there's too much socialization, and we need to remind ourselves that we have work to do at home. So yeah, we're not of want for socialization or companionship, thankfully. But you do have to be intentional. You do. I didn't realise how shy I was until I started to go to groups, and I had to overcome my fear of speaking to new people, you know, and now I just realise, oh, we're all in the same situation. We all feel nervous to meet new people, and it's just, hi, how are you? What's your name? And yeah, we have some lovely friends, and I've met some really lovely and inspiring people. And definitely these homeschool mums are usually mums, sorry to be sexist, but the majority of homeschoolers are mums. But dads, I'm not leaving you out. I know there are dads there, and I try to make the dads feel as welcome as possible, because I know that it can be hard. So, but we appreciate the dads too. I think it's amazing. I've told my husband as well that I would like him to be more involved in our son, especially as he grows in his education, because I feel like the dads just bring their own dynamic and expertise. And in our family, my husband's very techie. He's the techie one, and he takes on the IT for the kids, and he schools me in that area. So I'm grateful that dads can also have their expertise and, you know, bring their gifts and their talents and their perspective to the table. So dads are just as important, but I'm saying on the whole, the dad will usually be the one at work or working, and the mums will be the one taking on more of the more of the role of head teacher in homeschool families. So you do meet more mums, more ladies than men. So so on Monday my children will attend swimming. Is at 9:30. Sorry, I have to leave at 9:30 to 10:15. Just it's about 20 minutes from us. I love it. It's a great way to start our week, because it forces me to get up and out, and it sets a good precedent for the rest of the week. You know, you start strong. Even if you don't want to get out that bed and go swimming, you have to. So they love it. They're doing well. It's a nice group, nice families. There's about, I haven't counted, but there's I'd guess about 30 children, something like that. So it's really nice, different ages, but similar to my children's age. So it's lovely. It's a good start. Then I've decided we shower there, because it's just easier than keep on changing, unchanging, coming home and washing hair and whatnot. So they'll shower there, then we'll come home and have our lunch. Then we will do our work. So when I say work, I mean, they'll work on their curriculum that they have to do, their math, their English. Maybe we'll do an experiment or look at history or read art. We love Story of the World. We do a lot of reading. We do a lot of Bible reading. They have children's. We've got a lot of Bible studies for kids, and or then they'll practice their music and until their dad comes home, and we have dinner together our intention, we make sure we love to have dinner together and just talk on the table, which is nice so that is a usual Monday. On a Tuesday we work in the morning, so they usually have their Spanish lesson online for 1 hour. There's something called the £2 tuition hub. I cannot recommend them enough. They're amazing. I paid £10 for 5 weeks, £2 a lesson for an hour, and my kids actually run to the table. And my kids during lockdown, they were anti-Zoom, anything. They hated it. Even art lessons, which they loved going to, but they hated doing them on Zoom. But when it comes to this, they're there. And the older one and the second, I don't expect the younger. She lasts about 15-20 minutes, and she'll be up and on, and I don't mind that at all, because I think don't set yourself up or them to fail. They do not have she just doesn't have the attention span for it, and that's okay. She's young. She can explore, and I know I've learned with especially my son, when I think that he's not listening, he's actually the one that will answer the questions. He was listening. So even if a child is not at the table focusing, they can be going in. So I don't expect too much from her, as much as I do for the 10 and 9-year-old who will be at the table and working along with the tutor, and they have worksheets sometimes, or they write stuff down, and it's just a nice little break for me. Actually, it gives me time to prep for the day or prep lunch, ready when they're finished. I'm ready for them. But I try to get up before my children as well, so I can pray, work out, and just be ready for them. So I'm not playing catch up, because if I'm dressed, if I'm in my right mind, if I'm ready, I just find it's just a better day for all of us. So I try to get up at least, depending on what time they go to bed, their usual bedtime is between 8 and 8:30. Doesn't always work out like that, but that's the usual. So then they should be getting up at least by 8 o'clock. So I try to get up about 7 o'clock at least, so that I can do, as I say, I try and plan the day the night before. But if I can't, I may get things ready as well, pack things if we're going out. So for example, it's Sunday night now, I know they're going to swimming tomorrow, so they've already packed their swimming stuff, because if they get up at 8 o'clock, we've literally just got an hour and a half to eat and do Bible reading and pray, and get dressed, and it can take a long time for them. They're not really morning people. They're a bit like me. We're a bit slower in the morning. So we need just a bit of time. I think it's good if you work out how much time you need, and I've worked out that we need at least 2 hours if we're going anywhere. So if we need to be out at 9, we need to be up at least by 7, and I always try and make a half an hour. So if we need to leave by 9:30, in my head I'll say at least 9:15 or 9, and I'll usually hit 9:30, because it's like it's. So I try to, and I met someone at ice skating who does the same, so it's a good tip. So there's a tip. So on Tuesdays we work in the morning, as I say, similar to what we do on Monday afternoon, and then it's ice skating. So they go to ice skating for 2 p.m, and then my daughter, my eldest, has her she does the home-ed ice skating, and then an hour after that she has she's working towards her grades and competitions. She wants to start doing competitions, so she has lessons with the teachers at the centre, and we do that until about 5 o'clock. And then we come home, have dinner. Now we attend, in our curriculum, it's community based, and for 24 weeks of the year, usually coincides with term time at school, we meet up once a week, on our usual meet up, so 3 weeks on, 1 week off, and then we get all the holidays off. If it's a community day on a Wednesday, on Tuesday night we'll get everything ready for community day. Now I'm the leader for the community in Chinkford, a place in London, more East London, more inner London than where we live, and so I need to get a lot of things ready, not just our lunch, but sometimes I tutor there as well. So we actually show the parents how to deliver the curriculum through delivering it through the child in groups, and there are tutors there. I'm the community leader there, and I have to do an assembly, so I have to make sure I don't wait until Tuesday. I'm already prepping the week before or way in advance, but that's where I get everything, finalize everything I need to have and get done. So that's what we call CC prep day, and my children do a presentation there every week, so I'll need to make sure they have everything they need for their presentations. They have their bags, they know what they're wearing. That's another thing. If you want to save time in the mornings, have their clothes ready the night before. I found that very helpful. So, and then if it's on a Wednesday, if we have a CC day, well, that's our earliest we have to get up. Usually, if we're not going on a trip, and I'll talk about that after. But on a Wednesday, on a community day, we get up at 7, and thankfully my husband, he helps get them ready while I just do my last minute stuff and make sure we have our lunches, because it's a full day, so we need snacks and lunch and drinks and whatnot. So, and I might need to do last minute bits, but we help each other to get ready, make sure the kids eat and whatnot, and then we have to be there for 9 a.m. So we usually leave home about 8:15, and we go to CC and we set up, make sure everything's ready, the rooms, pray with the tutors. I will go through a community day in CC, and tell you what CC is. Sorry, CC is short for Classical Conversations, and I know I've referenced it a lot, but it does need its own video because there's a lot to it. So it'll make more sense. But a CC community day at the moment, there's 10 families of us who meet together. It's like a co-op is co-education or cooperative, where we learn together, where we support one another, where it's like one big family where we do learning together, and we all follow the same curriculum, and everyone loves it. It's just a really nice place, a blessed place for us. So that we're there from 9, and there's morning sessions, then there's lunch together, then there's afternoon sessions, and that's where they have chess club as well. And we usually, after to clean up, obviously I have to make sure everything's nice the way we left it. I have this thing in my head. I like it to look like we were never there. So I like it so neat that no one would know. But and we have lovely mums who always help to ensure that is the case. I hope it is. I hope they would agree. The church would agree that we do leave it nice, like we were never there. So if it's not a CC day, that might just be my catch-up day for anything that we need to, like anything, life happens. And when you're home educating 3 children of different ages, obviously I need to spread my time, I need to spread myself. Sometimes I just need extra time with one of my children. So having a break week is really nice as well. Or we'll just go on a play date. Maybe we haven't seen someone. We just, especially if the weather's nice, I like to get some fresh air. But I do like to stick to, we do it math at least, English at least. They practice their instruments at least. This is daily, by the way. We need to do at least history or language or geography, or, you know. And the good thing is our curriculum does hit on 7 different strands, so we do usually hit a lot of that, and it's very structured. It makes you feel like you're not they're not missing out and you're not dropping the ball. It's good to have that accountability of a community and support there, because it does help a lot. I know the difference, because we've only been doing it since 2022. I do know how hard it was to not have that. I personally love having a curriculum, because I feel like I love the structure. I love that someone else has planned a very thorough and really good resource for us, that I don't have to scramble and look for different parts, and it all works together. I love that. And again, I'll explain and that whole thing. Yes, so as I say, if it's not community day, obviously it's a bit calmer. Community day is wonderful crazy. It is wonderful crazy, but you get home and you literally crash, because you're like go all day. And so when it's not community week, we might go on a trip. Our last break week, we went on a trip. I think it was to the Benjamin Franklin Museum. It was really interesting. And again, we went in the morning, and then we were back home in time for the afternoon, and we were able to do work. So, it's very flexible, like what you want to do. So, for instance, if I went on a trip to Cambridge, and I just brought, in our curriculum, it's a lot of song. they learn through song. So I just play it in the car, or we listen to something in the podcast in the car, or we talk about something, you know, like I try and utilise the journeys as well. Everything, everywhere is an opportunity to learn when you home educate or world educate. The world is your classroom, basically. You're not limited. Okay, so on a Thursday, that is our free day, and I really appreciate that, especially after a classical conversations community day. Just have a bit of, maybe a little bit of a lie-in, guys. I think I earned it, trust me. But not too much of a lie-in, but because I do like to be up nice and early and fresh and get things out of the way, so that I find that the later you get up, that you're having to play catch up, and then it's like you're I don't know, I just find it less harder. I find it harder to be fruitful. So so again, flexible. If there's a trip that I find interesting, and by the way, these trips, either I will arrange them, and that's as simple as, you want to go somewhere, you can just contact the place directly. For example, I've arranged a trip to the Tower of London, Zoo, London Zoo, anywhere you want to go, and you can just go. Or there's some really amazing mums who have set up their own groups, and that's what they do. They just arrange trips. For example, I love one called The Joy of Home Ed, and does amazing trips. She even does abroad, like she's going to Japan, and I wish I will get there, please God. But Japan, Maldives, but then she does home ones. For instance, we're going to Brands Hatch for a Silverstone home ed trip. Or guys, we've been to so many. Some of my favourites are the Science Museum. They do a lot of homemade talks for us, and I went to the planetarium a couple of weeks ago. We go so much. Warwick Castle, went to Windsor Castle. That they did a really good talk about the changing power of the monarchs, and how we've come a long way from who is it, Cromwell, and being authoritarian, to now Charles, who's more I love you, I'm not going to behead you. But yeah, it's just, I love the layers of learning. I love the Benjamin Franklin Museum. I don't know where that man had time to do everything, but he was president of the US, a scientist, an inventor. You know, what excuse do we have, guys? Like, seriously, it's very inspiring. Anyway, so I'm learning with them and I'm enjoying it. I wish I was home educated. The more I home educate them, the more it's like it brings the books to life. I love if we're learning about, like for example, my son's really interested in the Vikings because my grandma was German, and he feels he has Viking blood in him. So when one of the mums planned a trip to the Viking Centre in York, which is called York, it used to be York, J-O-R-G, there's a bit of history. We were on it. We took a train up there. It was very fun, and I loved that. I loved it. And it was like, okay, we read about it, we maybe watch something about it, and then we go to a museum about it, go explore the city about it. I just think, this is just so cool. Like, you know, the layered learning. I love it, and bringing it to life for me is just amazing. We have people come and talk. We had the pastor from the church where we meet at CC. He was in the army, and for Remembrance Sunday, sorry, he wasn't in the army. Oh my gosh, I'm sorry. He's a Marine. Was he a Marine? Oh, I always get them mixed up. Oh my gosh, I'm so scared to say because I got it wrong. But he was in the Iraq War basically, and oh my gosh, his talk was revolutionary and he had many brownie points with the boys. But it's just great to have, you know, people coming and just helping our children. Like the chess teacher is a dad in our community who was a chess master in Poland. And when I heard that, I was like, please teach our children, because chess is great for strategy, and he makes them write down their moves, so they're also doing their English and their, you know, everything. Guys, layered learning overlaps, you know. There's opportunity for learning everywhere. Okay, and finally, Friday, so for the Monday to Friday, again, work in the morning, and then the children have music lessons in the afternoon, so that's their violin and then piano and whatnot. So yeah, as you can see, they are busy, and as I say, I will go into what curriculum we follow and break that down for you. But yeah, and then on the weekend there's more sports, and we go to church and see family. So, and then we try and have, you know, rest a bit on Sundays, ready for the week again, because it is a bit go. I think, yeah, I will do another video about how I handle all of this, because yes, sometimes I do feel like a Uber driver for my kids, an unpaid one, but yeah, on the whole it's pretty fun. But so God bless you again, and see you in the next video.